We can use tables in Word to do lots of great graphic designs. It's terrific for doing all kinds of flyers and posters. We're going to use tables to do the cover for our graduation program for the school at the close of school in June. So we're going to start by setting the margins. We'll go to page layout, margins, custom margins. We'll set the top at 0.65 and we'll set the bottom at 0.5. Then we'll go to insert and we'll do insert table. The quickest way to start is to use this grid that's provided by Word. Our table will set it up to start 2 columns by 4 rows. Next thing we'll do is we'll create the height of the rows. We'll select all the rows. We only need to select the rows in one column. We go to layout. Notice that these 3 tabs have appeared once we have created our table and selected a cell in it. Excuse me. We'll set our height for each of our rows for 2.35 inches. Hit enter and notice that we now have 4 very nice rows created, all the same height. I'll click out of the box, out of the cell that was selected, and we're in the right cell now at the top. Notice that the rulers are visible. The control for rulers is right here at the top of the vertical control bar. If I click it, the rulers go away. If I click it again, the rulers come back. The rulers are going to be helpful to us in this particular exercise because the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move this center dividing line over to 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches from here to here, and then we're going to select these 4 cells and we're going to merge them to create one vertical cell. So now we have a nice interesting layout here. We have 1 vertical cell and 4 horizontal cells. Into the vertical cell we're going to type the title for our event, which in this case is Graduation 2011. Over here, with this control in the Layout tab, we can change the direction of the text. Notice here it's horizontal, here it's vertical from the top down, but in our case we want to select it again and be vertical from the bottom up. It's now selected over here in the cell. We'll go back to Home, and I'm going to select a font that most people don't use too often, but I like, called Gill Sans MT, and I'm going to make it 80 points. Now we don't have an 80-point selection here in the typical font selection, but if we select this little box at the corner in the font area, we get this dialog box that opens up, and we can custom select the size of our font just by highlighting the number that's in the cell and entering the size that we want. So I make it 80, and I'm going to type the word graduation. I'm going to spell it correctly, 2011, and it fits very nicely into the space, but it's not centered. Notice, see, there's a lot of space at the top and not much at the bottom. So I'll go back to my layout, and in my layout this is rotated 90 degrees, but right here is the control for centering things from left to right and from top to bottom. So I'm going to pick the one in the center, and now Graduation 2011 is centered from top to bottom and from left to right. Next we'll go into the first horizontal cell and we'll type the name of our school. Let's call it Weaver Street Middle School. We'll go down to Times New Roman, make it 36 point, Weaver Street Middle School. Doesn't quite fit. So we'll make it not 36 point, we'll make it the next one smaller, 28 point. Fits very nicely. Now I want to show you a little trick. I don't know if many people know about wingdings. Interesting little font that you can work with that doesn't type letters but types objects. I went down to wingdings, selected wingdings 2, or leave it at the same size, and I'm going to type the letter G and the letter H. Notice I get this nice little graphic design here, very symmetrical. Then I'll go down, go back to Times New Roman. Now we'll say Times New Roman 22, and we'll give our town, we'll call ourselves New Atlantis, New Jersey. Select everything we just typed, go back to layout. This is rotated 90 degrees. Again, we're going to center everything from top to bottom and from left to right in the cell, and that looks kind of nice. Now let's give it some color. We have everything laid out very nicely. Now let's add some color to this cell. We right click, go to Borders and Shading, select the Shading tab. We want the shading to apply to the entire cell, not to the whole table, to the cell. If we select paragraph, it will only apply to the letters that we've typed or the paragraph that we've created. But we want to fill the whole cell with color, so we select cell, we go up to color. I don't feel comfortable with this limited selection, so I'm going to select more colors. Here in more colors we can go to custom and really go wild. I like to use this selection. I'm going to select this light yellow. It shows up here. I like it. Click OK. It shows me what I picked. And bingo, we have the very nice color applied to our first cell. Now let's work in the second cell. I want to put a picture of the school in here. Now if you already have a picture of your school, great. You can just get it from your computer and plop it in there. We don't have a ready picture, so we're going to go out, we're going to open up Internet Explorer,